If I could give some advice to my younger self, it definitely would be to stop worrying. Stop worrying about what people think. Stop worrying about what people might be saying about me. Just stop worrying, because do you know what? Nobody really cares. Not to that extent. They don't care about what you're doing. They don't care about how you look. So long as you're not hurting anybody, and so long as you're not doing anything illegal, they've got too much going on in their own lives, really. I mean, do you worry about what people think? I used to do. I really used to do when I was younger, and I think that's quite normal. I think it is quite normal when we're trying to find our place in the world to worry if we're going to fit in, if people are going to like us. I was talking to one of the young girls who I work with the other day, and she was really quite worried about, she changed the colour of her hair ever so slightly, and she was quite worried about what other people might have thought about it. And basically the conversation went where I'd seen her, I'd said hello, and I said, "Oh, you've changed the colour of your hair. I really do like it. It's really pretty and it really suits you." And she was saying how worried she was when she did it that people would have an opinion, obviously, and that maybe they wouldn't like it. And it got me thinking, really, how much emphasis there is on whether or not people approve of how we look or what we do. And does that really matter? Does it really matter? So long as what you're doing is not illegal or harmful in any way, does it really matter what somebody thinks about the colour of your hair or the colour of your top or anything? And I thought, do you know what? You used to really worry when you were younger. And I did. I used to always think, what are people going to think of me wearing this? Do I look suitable for other people? And it wasn't so much were I comfortable in what I was wearing, it was more, is this suitable for other people? In other people's opinions, will other people think that I'm wearing the right thing, or that my hair looks the right way, or my shoes were the right colour for them, etc. And I realised that as you get older, a lot of us, not all of us, but a lot of us gradually over time just don't care anymore. Or is that too strong to say we don't care? But we don't let it affect us. We don't let it affect us as much as we did when we were younger. And there is still times that I worry about what people think, but it's more about my behaviour or how I've reacted to something rather than how I look and what I'm wearing. And I'm very conscious that the things I say and do, that people's respect my opinion. They might not like what I'm saying, and that's fine. That is fine. They might not agree with what I'm saying, and again, that is fine. But so long as the respect, and I come across respectfully, that they respect that's just my version of events, that's my opinion on that subject. The thing it made me think about as well was, why do we care so much about what other people think? And I would imagine it's because in our past we have had negative comments, negative feedback, somebody being quite cruel and maybe even being bullied. And that made me think then that the people who do these things to you and say these things to you, they're usually people with a very low self-esteem. And it says more about them than it actually does about you. And I can remember when my girls were young, them worrying about, oh, so and so at school said this, or so and so at school's wearing that, and I haven't got it. And I used to say, well, they haven't got X, Y, or Z. You've got this new coat. They may have new shoes, but you've got a new coat. So they're probably going home to their mum and dad and saying, oh, it's not fair. My friend's got a new coat. Not realising she's got new shoes, because we can't have everything all the time, can we? And as I say, often it's people with low self-esteem that target who they seem is vulnerable. And that then means to an end. Who knows why? My opinion is it makes them feel better. It makes them feel more powerful. And, you know, it's cruel and it shouldn't be done. And I always brought my girls up, please don't say anything to somebody that you're not prepared for them to say back to you, because you never know. A simple 5-word sentence, whatever, that could stick with that person for the rest of their life, and it could have an effect. So always be mindful of what you say, and let's, all live together in harmony. The other thing was, yeah, but nobody will like me if I don't wear this, or if I don't have that particular belonging, or I don't listen to this type of music, I won't have any friends. Well, I think I've just been a little bit of one where, do you know what, I'd rather be on my own than have a lot of false friends around me that are only friends because I'm a mirror image of them. And when I look back, I've never had hundreds and hundreds of friends, but I've had some very, very good close friends. The quality of a friendship, the quality of that relationship is so much more significant than the quantity. I would rather have one really good friend who supports me and guides and helps me and wants me to be the best version of myself than 10 who want me to be another version of them. What do you think about that? Have you ever been in a situation where you've had to walk away from what you thought was a friendship because you realised it was quite toxic? Or have you ever thought you were going to say something and then fortunately held back on that because you realised that actually if I do say that, that could hurt that person? Because I suppose at the end of the day, we never really know what that person's going through, and our one comment could really, really, really upset them. And, it works the other way around, whereas somebody could be having a really bad day and our one comment picks them up and gives them that lift that they need. Again, I had a situation at work, and I was only talking about this the other day, where suddenly I got a message on the works chat platform, basically thanking me for just a smile. And I said, my pleasure. I'd never thought anything of it. I'd try to smile at everybody. And that person said that they'd been having such a horrible day, and basically a horrible week. And somebody who they don't know very well, who they've just seen passing at work, said, good morning, I hope you're all right, or whatever I said, morning, how are you, with a smile, and looked them in the eye. And they said that just made them feel worthy again. How powerful is that? How powerful is that? Have you ever had where just somebody said to you, hello, how are you? And it's turned your day around. It's made you feel, I don't know, 100 times better, because maybe earlier in that day you thought nobody cares. And then you just realise that actually people do care. You're just going through a tough day or a tough week. Let me know what your thoughts are. Anyhow, I'm going to call it a day. Thank you very much for stopping by. If you've enjoyed our little chat, please consider subscribing, giving me a thumbs up, and dropping me a comment below. I'd love to hear from you, and I'd love to see you again in my next video. So looking forward to chatting with you again. Take care. Speak to you soon. Bye.